Why, Stephen Ross? Why? Miami's a dumpster fire, and Mike McDaniel and Chris Grier have not been fired. I've always said to fire Chris Grier first, and then let the new decide the fate of Mike McDaniel. But this past Sunday, they were being 31-6 by the Cleveland Browns, and the schedule's not going to get any easier. So now my question is, why Stephen Ross? Why? And what's next with Stephen Ross? Let's get into this. Welcome back, Fig Nation. Welcome back, Finstock Nation. Welcome back, Dolphin Nation. So let's get into the question, why have Mike McDaniel and Chris Grier not been fired? First, I'm going to play a clip from NFL Insider on Good Morning Football, Ian Rappaport, talking about the current situation with the Miami Dolphins. Then I'm going to go ahead and read to you something from Barry Jackson. Then we're going to go ahead and listen to Mike McDaniel's presser. And then I'm going to show you another clip. And then I'll finally give you my thoughts. But this is crazy that not even Chris Grier has been fired. I've always said Chris Grier should be fired first. And then let the new GM, once you hire a GM, decide what to do with Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa. But at this point, both can be gone, in my opinion. And then just start from scratch and blow up the team. Let's hear what Ian Rappaport had to say on Good Morning Football.
Mike McDaniel said it. They really need to figure out who they are and really find out what they are made of. The problem is the record's rough and the spotlight is very firmly on the Miami Dolphins right now. And there's been several reasons why. First of all, some high-profile losses can put a coach, put a team into crosshairs. Plus, last week we had the controversy with starting quarterback Tua Tagovailoa calling out some of his teammates for late arrivals to players-only film sessions or something like that, and then going back, walking back his comments, kind of more firmly put eyeballs on the Miami Dolphins, making sure everyone took notice of who they are, how they play, and how they respond. And then they come out and have one of the worst losses of the season to one of the NFL's worst teams. And my understanding, early on in the season for the Dolphins and for Mike McDaniel, his owner, Stephen Ross, likes him and believes in him, has extended him in the past, and wants to go forward with Mike McDaniel. The only thing that would change it is if, one, fans suddenly stop showing up to the stadium, which can happen for a really bad team in a lost season, or two, if the players stop playing for him. And, I'm not saying yesterday's result was that, but it certainly didn't go in a great direction. We don't know right now what is going to happen for the Miami Dolphins, but I believe it's fair to say that questions about the future of Mike McDaniel and Tua, by the way, and everything that is in the Dolphins' orbit, it is all fair now with that performance that they gave on Sunday.
There you guys have it from Ian Rappaport. He's just waiting to see when Stephen Ross will pull the trigger or change his mind. But as of right now, Tua and Mike McDaniel are safe. Now, here's what Barry Jackson had to say in regards to the current situation. When I've asked a Ross associate, why no changes? He cited the owner wanting to give McDaniel Grier a fair amount of time to turn this around. Yesterday and previous weeks did not qualify in his view, as reasons to change from that approach. Who knows what will? That was from Barry Jackson from the Miami Herald. Now let's play Mike McDaniel's presser, and then I'll show you the last clip and then give you my final thoughts.
Not to assume anything in journalism, and since Tua leads the league in interceptions, I guess we probably should ask you, will he take all the first-team practice snaps this week, and will he be your starter for the next several weeks, barring injury?
Yeah, he's going to take the snaps this week, and he's going to be our starter this week, and my expectation is that we don't throw 10 picks.
And with the 4 offensive linemen who are eligible to return off IR, any of them designated this week to return, would you anticipate?
Not this week.
And how about Sanders? Sanders as well.
Not this week.
Do you have a Darren Waller update you can offer us?
It was soft tissue. It's a situation that probably it would be living in hope to see him in the upcoming next week's games. but he'll be diligent, and this means a lot to him. So, but that's kind of where I'm at with it right now, with the information I have.
Mike, you said the tape doesn't lie. What did the tape show after last night's loss?
We are 100% at losing football games that we don't play complimentary football in. That it was as much as the easy answer for one player or one position. There was an immense amount of there was the appropriate effort, and there was the want to, the disciplined of that it takes to know your assignments inside and out and execute your assignments inside and out. That was lacking at many times. There was plenty. I would love to. You give credit to the victor, but the tape left me. I don't really have an opinion on the two teams against each other because we didn't participate in the game. In my opinion, it was not because people were disinterested. Quite the contrary. The 11 penalties for 100 yards and being out of position, but wanting to be in position. That's a lot of times what that comes down to. So, I think it was a very, very direct meeting that guys had to face the truth of the opportunities that we didn't take advantage of, and how all 31 teams that you play, you're -4, 11 penalties, 100 yards. You don't need to tell me who the opponents are or what teams are playing. You're going to lose that game. So I'm not sure if there's statistics out there that would support it. I'm sure there's something close to it. You don't. That's not how you win football games. And the team had to embrace that reality and hard truth, which is important for all of us.
Mike, it's not the first time that we've heard the guys wanted to, but they didn't execute. They wanted to do too much in search of making a play instead of doing their actual assignment. In your opinion, why is that continued to be an issue here?
Well, I mean, obviously that's where I'm trying to get down to the bottom of. You have a spirited practice week. That's that things occur, and then if it was patternized, I could be in front of it. The issue at hand is that this is a game played by human beings, and you don't, sometimes you don't know that someone's ill prepared for something until you can't get every look or every defense that they have or every offensive play that they have versus every coverage or versus every, and so you're counting on people's minds to be in the right place. I think again the easiest way to kind of each game's unique into its own. This one felt a little bit like the season started, where we lost some lessons that we've learned. Regardless, it's like it's a bottom line business that it annoys the heck out of me to verbally answer that question. Not the question itself, but what I have to offer, which is the nuances of coach to player relationship and the players taking practice week to the field. You would love to have answers for that, and we wouldn't be in this position in the first place. But I think you just have to be clear, honest, and direct with guys, and they have to do a great job of not minimizing their contribution to the failed attempt. It's the biggest thing is you can't run away from the 1-6, any individual, and however you think it's playing out, or if you think you're doing your job correctly, and pushing off responsibility to other players, or other positions or other phases, you're not going to get the desired result. So the big focus with me for our team this week is that guys get at least 1% better every day at their own jobs, and collectively, if you care about your football, you care about your teammates' football, you care about all the things that people talk about caring about, we have to do, and I think there's not going to be words that are going to satisfy both the team, organization, fan base. Words are at this point like, I would love to put a muzzle on. Like we need to fix things and fast. And it's everyone, including myself, and starting with me. And you move on from there, because we've played one game of complimentary football, and we have one win. Everything else, I don't care at this point the whys. I just want the direct focus and the corrections, and you do that by working, not talking.
Mike, what will go into the decision each week on the backup quarterback? Are you going to make more of an effort to see what you get in Quinn?
No. I think I make a very calculated, intentional effort to observe each player every week. I think again last week, based upon the game plan, the situation, and Quinn, more than anything, it kind of created an opportunity where I thought, with conviction, and I think the coaching staff agreed that Quinn in this particular game gave us the best shot if he had to come in. Moving forward, I think we'll have. I don't anticipate it. I'm hoping it's not a week-to-week thing. We will have. It will be competitive this week, and at the end of the week, I'll let you guys know who the backup is, and in the hopes that somebody grabs and takes. But I think you have to be willing to do whatever it takes for your that's the best thing for your team. I was very proud of Zach understanding that this was not a wholesale change. This was for this game, and all things are on the table moving forward in their competition, and we'll settle that on the field and move on from there.
When it comes to dissecting games with Tua after a game, how does it work with you guys? Do you guys meet one-on-one? Does he compile notes, tells you what he likes, doesn't like? Do you guys meet one-on-one a lot during the week, or is it strictly team specs?
No, so sometimes it'll be in the position room, sometimes it's in front of the group, and sometimes it's direct one-on-one. In this case, I thought it was important for us to watch the offense together. So we watched the pass game together this morning, and had direct communication about the ebbs and flows of the game, and how we can both improve for each other, because to me, that specifically when you're having, or when you go through a performance like that, I never, I don't see it as, all on a player or all on a coach. It's a working relationship, and we both have to get better together, because that's not good enough. So, I changed the exact tempo of it, depending on the nature of what needs to be coached, and how much with a fine-tooth comb do I have to go through each play, or is it a group of plays, positive or negative, whatever it takes to get players to play their best. And so I have no problem changing up the formula and adapt whenever that's necessary. So probably the third or fourth time that we've done it this year, but it was very important we did it on this game.
Mike, obviously you have long-term goals at the start of the season, whether that's postseason, certain number of rushing yards, passing yards, etc. Just when those goals start to become less and less attainable, just how do you keep guys motivated?
Well, I think you hope you have the right people that stay motivated, considering we're paid professionals, and we've played 7 games in a guaranteed 17-game season. So, the feelings, the emotions, the whatever expectation, who really cares at this point? The idea is that you're right in the heat of games that are very much meaningful to each player, coach, staff member, and organization, and so that there shouldn't be much more motivation than that. That was an embarrassing effort, and so what do you do with an embarrassing effort? You want to get back to work and put a different product on your name. So I think for Game 8, I'd be extremely disappointed if guys were lacking motivation, regardless of how difficult it may seem. Like that you have a job to do, so we need to go do it.
Mike, did you have any discussions with Stephen Ross yesterday when you got back? And then I know you answered this part yesterday after the game, but there's so much outside noise swirling around about your future and a lot of other people. Just how are you handling all that? And
well, like I said before, I don't really. I have there's a piece of me that's from an integrity standpoint that I just refuse to go into that world of speculation when I'm currently I'm holding the job. I think that's kind of irresponsible. I do recognize, and the hard part is the residual consequences. I think of other staff members, players, just the uncertainty of that. But at this point, I don't think anybody really is focused on any of that now. You got to focus on winning a game. As far as talking to Mr. Ross, talked to him right after the game, and we talk about the game. And it was there was a lot to talk about within that particular game, that outing. Definitely didn't see it playing out that way. So, we talked about that, and then then I came here off the plane. So, that's I can't speak on all of the all of the speculative things that aren't real. As far as we're operating, we have a lot of things to focus on, and none of which is speculating on speculation.
With some of the pre-snap confusion. I guess how do you fix that with players at this point in the season not knowing where to line up outside of the huddle? And do you have an understanding from them on why that keeps happening?
Well, regardless, you have to be ready for everything. So that's there's no excuse. I think bottom line is you have to be clean in that area. I think the vulnerabilities of all the substitution and alignment were kind of spotlighted as the game went on, and we had a couple guys go out with injury, and I think that's a huge part of the game that people have to be prepared for, and I don't think we were adequately prepared for that, which led to some late in the play clock and timeout situations that I try to avoid at all costs. So that wasn't good enough amongst many things, and we will be addressing that starting. Well, it was already addressed, but we'll be practicing that on Wednesday as we. You can't do anything about the past. You can only take what you have and improve upon it.
All right, guys, there you heard from Mike McDaniel. Darren Waller has a pectoral. Tua Tagovailoa will still be a starter, and the backup situation is from week to week. That's what he basically said. In terms of the last clip, this is a clip I found, but I couldn't find the part where the defensive back basically says, "Come on, Tua, throw it to me." But this is the clip. This DB said that in a clip posted by the Cleveland Browns on this play, but it's not the clip I have. But I'm still going to show it to you because he basically calls out the pass play before it's going to happen in another clip that they have him mic'd up on. But I'm going to show you the clip, and hopefully the editor can find the clip where he says, "Come on, Tua, throw it right at me."
11th pick of his career, coached all those years out in LA with the Chargers. Tua's pass first down, and that one is picked. Browns ain't done yet. There's a penalty flag thrown in the offensive backfield.
I just believe it's a dumpster fire in Miami. Like I said, Chris Grier should already be fired, in my opinion. We'll see how long it takes for Stephen Ross to decide to fire Chris Grier and then Mike McDaniel. Or are they trying to tank on purpose? That's another question I have. Will it be that we have to be 1-10 before he fires Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel? If the players stop playing for him, then they'll be gone, from what we've heard from Ian Rappaport. If the fans stop going to the game and watching the games, then they'll be gone faster. We'll see how long it takes. Give me your thoughts down below, and like always, stay positive, stay on your grind, and go Dolphins.